The pang of betrayal lingered in the air as the words hung there. Once the love of my life, my daughter had done the unimaginable and thrown me out of my own house with the heartbreaking comment, "You're just in the way, Mom." Little did I know that this would be the start of a turbulent journey that would test the very foundation of a mother-daughter bond that I had believed to be unbreakable. Family, love, and cherished memories had always been the threads that stitched together the fabric of life. As a YouTube video producer, my channel had served as a window into those delights, a place where I celebrated life's victories, moments of humor, and sporadic setbacks. Emily, my daughter, had been a vital component of those films, winning our online audience over with her contagious smile and vivacity. However, as the years passed, our lives started to fall apart in ways I never would have imagined. The late-night murmurs, the locked doors, and the sporadic distance that crept into our interactions were all modest at first. Even though there was a storm approaching, I held onto the idea that family ties were unshakable. The storm broke the appearance of an unbreakable bond one fateful evening when it exploded in a dispute. Emily's irritation reached a boiling point, and tension in our house began to rise. The remarks, piercing and harsh, were a betrayal that went right to the heart of who I was. "You're just in the way, Mom." Our once happy home was shaken by the weight of those words, an unsaid truth that echoed through the walls. Emily, full of teen rebellion and rage, insisted that I go, and I stood there, a mother hurt and confused. The hours that followed were a flurry of packing bags, sobbing entreaties, and the crushing awareness that the haven I had created for my family was now evaporating from my grasp. The recordings that used to show off our happy times became records of the falling apart. The suffering seen in my eyes as I tried not to cry in front of the camera. The YouTube community has seen a shift in our lives. It was once a place where people could share joys and support one another. Remarks flooded in, a mixture of commiseration, guidance, and criticism. Broken hearts have taken the role of the heart emojis, which formerly stood for gratitude and represented the broken fragments of a family that had apparently fallen apart. I was left on the doorstep of uncertainty, bag in hand, and heart heaving from rejection because I had nowhere to go. Once a blank canvas filled with hopes and fantasies, the future now loomed large and unknowable. In the days that followed, I struggled to understand how such a strong tie could break so completely. Once a celebration of family harmony, the YouTube channel evolved into a healing space where mothers could vent the raw anguish of being rejected by their own children. Viewers were engrossed in our story as it progressed, and the comment section turned into an online support system. In a sea of emotional turmoil, encouraging words, shared experiences, and messages of empathy became lifelines. The internet community became observers of our family's gradual healing process after seeing its disintegration. There was a ray of hope amid the mayhem. The videos started out as a record of hopelessness, but eventually came to represent a path of self-awareness and resiliency. Both strangers and friends provided guidance, support, and a reminder that even in the most difficult circumstances, one may find strength. Gradually, the injuries started to mend. The YouTube channel changed from being a journal of heartache to a place for reconstruction. Videos showed a mother regaining her footing, accepting her newfound independence, and rediscovering the strength that had been eclipsed by the hurt of rejection. The tone changed from one of hopelessness to one of empowerment. Emily took an unexpected turn and gingerly reached out, realizing the impact of what she had spoken. Although there were many challenges in the way of reconciliation, the joint effort to rebuild both offline and online served as a monument to the human spirit's tenacity and the possibility of redemption even in the most complex family situations. Having followed the ups and downs of our journey, the YouTube community helped us through the good times and bad. Once more, the shattered hearts in the comment section changed to heart emojis, signifying not only admiration for the information, but also a shared understanding of the power inherent in vulnerability. My personal metamorphosis was painted on the YouTube channel in the weeks that followed my move out of the house. Videos captured my self-discovery journey, the little victories, and the disappointments as I made my way through the uncharted territory of my newfound independence. Having seen the lowest points of hopelessness, the online community came together to support the story of resiliency and provided a virtual support system that went beyond the pixels on the screen. The videos started to focus more on the empowerment of self-love than the hurt of rejection as I started to rebuild my life. The new focus was on tutorials about embracing personal growth, going on solitary travels, and rediscovering passion. Originally a place for pity, the comment area evolved into a conversation about common experiences, with viewers thanking each other for having the guts to take the risk of self-renewal. At the same time, Emily began to watch the films as she considered the consequences of her conduct. The pictures I took of my makeover acted as a mirror to reflect the power of her remarks. Once on the outside looking in on our family's hardships, the internet community now unintentionally contributed to the slow healing of a mother-daughter bond. One day, Emily left a sincere note in the comments. Her words, which were a mixture of sorrow, empathy, and a want for peace, revealed a sensitivity that I could relate to. It served as a pivot, a link between the shattered past and an uncertain future. Private messages developed into phone conversations, which in turn developed into in-person meetings. At each stage, there was a common resolve to mending what had been damaged and a cautious hope. The YouTube channel developed into a joint venture, a cooperative endeavor between a mother and daughter who had survived a tumultuous emotional journey. Together, we made the decision to use the platform as a tool for gap bridging as well as a personal journal, providing an open and sincere depiction of the difficulties that come with family dynamics. The channel changed into a forum for candid discussions on the difficulties that families encounter as we worked through the process of reconciliation. Viewers were able to discuss their personal challenges, ask for guidance, and find comfort in the knowledge that they were not alone in their quest for healing in the common area. Unexpectedly, Emily started taking an active role in the creation of the content. Once a solitary project, the videos now presented the dynamic of a mother and daughter figuring out how to trust each other again. The story turned from the hurt of being rejected to the mutual victories of finding love and understanding again. Our story's last chapters were characterized by sincerity, openness, and a common desire to advance. The YouTube community applauded the healing power of forgiveness and the tenacity of familial relationships after seeing the progression from pain to reconciliation. Ultimately, our path was not a straight line from hopelessness to acceptance. Rather, it was a patchwork of moments, the sobs, the confessions, and the slow restoration of confidence. The YouTube channel, which had previously shown broken family ties, was now a symbol of the potential of a family to overcome conflict, the strength that comes from forgiveness, and the healing power of vulnerability. As the videos depicted our continuing journey, viewers moved from being passive observers to actively engaging in the story of salvation. Broken hearts in the comment area became acknowledgments of the common hardships families endure and a sign of gratitude for the bravery it required to tell our experience. Our family had transformed after being destroyed by cruel remarks. After starting off as a place to capture suffering, the YouTube channel has evolved into a source of hope for others facing the difficulties of broken relationships. Even if our story is still developing, it already sends a strong message. Even in the most difficult circumstances, there is always a chance for understanding, healing, and atonement. The YouTube channel developed become a vibrant forum for advocating for open communication among families in addition to sharing our story. The audience valued the unadulterated genuineness of our material, and our experience spoke to individuals going through similar struggles. Once a place for compassion, the comment area has developed into a community-driven platform where users share their experiences, ask for guidance, and support one another. Emily and I kept working together on videos discussing subjects that went deep into the intricacies of familial relationships. Recurring topics throughout the conversations were creating understanding, restoring trust, and communicating effectively. The channel evolved into a helpful tool offering advice, practical solutions, and emotional support to families going through comparable difficulties. Unexpectedly, family therapists, and mental health advocates became interested in our story after realizing the potential influence of our experience. Working together with experts enabled us to provide our viewers with knowledgeable guidance, transforming the channel into a central location for fostering emotional health in families. The slow process of getting back together with Emily was evidence of the strength of family ties and the effectiveness of second chances. Our common experience served as an encouragement to others who thought that relationships damaged by hurtful remarks could be repaired, and that people might find forgiveness and healing. The YouTube community honored the turning points in our path, having supported us through the good times and the bad. Messages of thanks, empathy, and congrats from people who had found comfort in our tale replaced the broken hearts that had populated the comment box. With time, the channel's content shifted from our personal story to more general talks on family therapy, mental health, and the value of getting professional assistance when necessary. Emily and I started advocating for building strong bonds between people and eliminating the stigma associated with mental health issues in families. Our narrative developed into a real example of the transformational potential of understanding, forgiveness, and the desire to set out on a path of self-discovery as the channel grew. Viewers witnessed not just the difficulties we encountered, but also how our relationship changed from a painful to a respectful, loving, and accepting one. Our voyage came to an end with a beautiful video, a reflection on the knowledge gained, the personal development that transpired, and the strengthened link between a mother and daughter. Messages of thanks, support, and appreciation from viewers who were moved by our story flooded the comment area. Ultimately, our YouTube channel had developed into something more than a record of our individual hardships. It developed into a forum for building empathy, understanding, and compassion among families. Once characterized by cruel remarks and rejection, our narrative has evolved into a source of encouragement for people who are looking for hope when faced with hardship. The story changed from the suffering of the past to the promise of a future based on love, communication, and the everlasting faith in the potential of redemption as we carried on sharing our ongoing journey. Having seen the whole gamut of our experiences, the YouTube community continued to be a vital component of our narrative, an encouraging audience that had been essential to our group's recovery. The story of our family, contained behind the walls of a YouTube channel, had come to symbolize the notion that relationships can be repaired and even the most severe wounds may heal. Our story's last chapter wasn't a conclusion. Rather, it marked the start of a new chapter that would be marked by appreciation, comprehension, and the fortitude that comes from accepting the complexity of interpersonal interactions. We found ourselves experimenting with new video-generating opportunities as our YouTube channel kept growing. In addition to our personal story, viewers continued to be interested in the larger topics of mental health, family dynamics, and the value of building healthy relationships. Working together with family therapists, mental health specialists, and other content producers deepened our conversations and increased the channel's reach. The channel's launch of a specialized series was one noteworthy breakthrough. Through guidance, personal stories, and a forum for candid discussion, this series sought to answer the queries and worries of its audience. The online community that arose in response to our story actively participated in directing the material, transforming the channel into an online support system for people facing comparable difficulties. Once a source of pain and pity, the comment area has evolved into a virtual safe haven where people could share stories, offer counsel, and offer support. Connecting with people who understood the intricacies of family dynamics provided comfort to viewers, and the channel acted as a catalyst for the public conversation on mental health issues that affect families. Emily and I arranged webinars, in-person events with mental health specialists, and live Q&A sessions, which elevated our collaborative efforts to new heights. The channel developed into a vibrant forum for raising consciousness, fostering empathy, and encouraging proactive measures to create stronger, healthier families. The tale that started with the agonizing words and the difficult journey away from home has developed into one of advocacy, fortitude, and redemption. The process of personal and collective healing emerged as a ray of hope for people struggling with the difficulties of broken relationships. While all of these good things were going on, Emily and I kept getting closer. The knowledge gained from our mutual experiences served as the cornerstone for our growing mutual respect and understanding. Our developing relationship showed that sincere attempts to communicate, empathize, and forgive might bring about transformation, even in the wake of cruel remarks. Our YouTube journey came to an end without any spectacular conclusions or well-wrapped bows. Rather, it was a recognition of the continuous character of development and recovery. The channel's continued availability as an open platform is evidence that learning, growing, and negotiating the complexities of relationships are all ongoing processes in life. Looking back on the entire trip, we can say that the YouTube community was crucial in forming our story. In addition to fueling our own personal improvement, the viewers' shared insights and virtual support have advanced the larger discussion on mental health and family dynamics. A message of thankfulness was sent in the last film, which was a contemplation on the transformational path from rejection to reconciliation. Thank you to the professionals who offered their knowledge, the community that stood by us, and the resiliency that allowed a mother-daughter connection to blossom out of conflict. The YouTube channel had developed into a living example of the notion that healing, growth, and transformation were possible even in the most trying situations. The end marked not the end of the channel's development, but rather a change in direction as the emphasis moved from individual hardships to group empowerment and activism. Once characterized by heartache, our narrative has evolved into a source of encouragement for people looking for hope on their own travels. Once a place to record suffering, the YouTube channel had grown into a place to promote empathy, understanding, and the idea that relationships, no matter how broken, could be repaired with love, communication, and a common desire to improve. The message was evident when the last seconds of our closing film were recorded by the camera. Although the story began with rejection and cruel remarks, it ultimately developed into a tale of resiliency, atonement, and the unbreakable power of family ties. Our YouTube community, which was important in this life-changing experience, continued to serve as a living example of the significant influence that personal narratives and group support may have on promoting understanding and healing. The resolution served as both a continuation of the shared story and a reminder that healing and hope might be found in even the most unlikely locations throughout life's constantly unfolding chapters.